Hi friends, welcome to the session. The session is about configuring multiple IP addresses to same Ethernet card, and second part is very crucial, which is basically automating the creation of zone files for a newly added domain if you know the domain and IP address. If you remember in the last class, if you watched that lecture, what I have discussed in the last class was about how to configure the name server and how to work with the name server. If you remember, there are three files which are affected by that. One is /etc/named.conf. Okay, one was this file. I demonstrated this file. This was the entry which we changed, and second was this IP address which was allowed for this. Okay, this is one thing which we did, and second is if we look at the second part, second file which was affected by this was named dot local dot zones, which I created to add my own zones. Rather than entering the zones into named.conf, I created a separate independent file named.local.zones, and I created this example.com zone in this file, and I made these two entries. One is forward lookup, and second is reverse lookup. The forward lookup is stored the details of the zone file, database zones, or the details are stored into for.example.com.db, and for reverse lookup the details are stored into rev.example.com.db. Now this is the file which we want to populate. These two files which were referred in the last session, they were stored into where named. Under this directory we have these files forward.example.com.db. This is the file, the zone file, where we have the start of authority, the server name, the domain or email address of the webmaster, refresh it, and all these details. Okay, this was one, and the for reverse lookup it was rev.example.com.db. so this is for reverse lookup. Okay, these are the two files which were created, and after that we discuss some security settings also, that also were displayed. So if you want, you can watch the previous session how to create. Now today in this session I have divided the session into two parts. One is how to configure multiple IP addresses. Like if you look at, I have multiple IP addresses, same Ethernet card, ping 192.168.1.20, which is working fine, which I explained last class. But 21 onward, if you look at, all the IP addresses up to 199, in fact up to 200 are there, and they are handled by the same Ethernet card, same network card. So there's multiple IP addresses for one Ethernet card. How do I created that? I am just going to explain that quickly in 2 minutes. So for that we just need to create a file, sysconfig network scripts. Okay, under this file we created ifcfg and ens8. Under this we have created this file called range. Okay, this is for range files. So range, this is the one file I created, that's it. And this file consists of these details like IP address start 192.168.1.21 and end at 200. Gateway is this, prefix is 24, which is a CIDR. So that means it have it allows 256 IP addresses, 255 to be for the broadcast, and up to 192.168.1.255 will be for broadcast. So this is the and clone number start with 0. That means the cloning the IP address, the files, the numbers, Ethernet cards will be named with starting with 0, 0 colon 0 colon 1 colon 2, that's way, so and so and so forth. Okay, and after that I simply restarted. I can show you the history of commands for this, not much of the commands. The last few commands you can watch the commands which I did. I made entry into this range file. Okay, and under that I simply did that restart network. Okay, and that's it. So once you restart the network, you have all the IP addresses available. Now the most important thing is this automation or the script file. So if you look at, there are three files in this, okay, in the directory. One is ns.example.com .profile, and second is makezones.sh. So this the two files are important files which I have created for this automation purpose. The first file, ns.example.profile, this is a generic profile. If the profile is not provided by the user, then this profile from this file will be considered, will be taken. And if the profile is provided, okay, I'm sorry, if the details are provided from the file, it will be taken again. And this optionally you can add the profile from this. What is there in this? Let's look at this first, ns.example. Okay, ns.example.profile. This is a general profile. Let me just 1 second. vi, yes, this is the file, this is a profile. So this is default profile for ns.example.com which I've created. Okay, ns1 dot. So time to live 4 hours, attl 7200. That is a type address will have this time frame. Default ETL for each DNS. Email ID sangwan.example.com. Refresh, retry, expiry, max negative, minimum negative caching. Name server. So these are the name server, ns1.example.com, and the IP addresses for the name servers. Let me change the IP addresses for the name servers. Let me keep it as 192.168.120 192.198. It should not be 198, it should be 192. 192.168.1.21, and second is 192.168.1.22. okay, this is the second name server. So these are the name servers which are going to be for two name servers. ns1.example.com will have this IP address, and ns2 will have this 192.168.1.22. These are going to be the IP addresses. Okay, then mail servers. Point to be noted is these are the two arrays, name servers and name servers IP, because I'll be referring to this two arrays in my main file when I'll be creating that. Okay, so because this is a script, I want to automate this for this purpose only. So mail server, mail.example.com. I can have multiple mail servers also, but right now I'm giving only one. And we can add a records here. I have added a records, which is FTP, and I want to keep FTP to be of 192.168.1.21 and .22. Okay, webmail, FTP, echo, they should be same. I want to keep them as same. 192.168.1.21. So FTP, webmail, and IP v6. Okay, version 6 host IP address. So these are the details which are there. Point to be noted is this is a function load records. I'm going to call this function to add these records in my zone file. So this is first step for the automation. One, the default profile, start of authority related entries, then name server entries, name server IP addresses, then mail entries, that's mail server entry, mail.example.com, and then same way FTP, webmail, and IPv6. So these are three entries here. All these things will be called in my main file, which I'm going to refer now. And this is the main file, my friends, make zones.sh. This is the shell script, and I'm going to upload it on hometutor.net.in. If you want to download it as it is, I'm going to upload both the scripts to the website hometutor.net.in, hometutor.net.in. I'm going to upload it, so you can visit this website, register yourself, and I'm going to upload this script there. Okay, hometutor.net.in. So you can find the script there, registered as student. Now script to create bind zone file, tested on bind 9 RHEL7. Copyright RN Sangwan, this is my name, Sangwan at allianceid.in is my official ID, and visit hometutor.net.in for more information. And the syntax to call this script is going to be the file name, the script name, then domain name aspl-delhi.com, then the IP address which you want for that IP address, for example 21. Okay, this is going to be the syntax example uses. Now I'm taking because I minimum I will be requiring two parameters. Let's say one is domain and second is the IP address. Therefore I'm capturing both the parameters here. Domain as parameter number 1 and IP address as parameter number 2. The third parameter is also going to be used, which is will be the placeholder for the profile, which is there, which I've created, which I showed to you. Now let's go ahead with this. So if number of parameters is less than 1, that means we are missing something. We need to tell the user that the syntax is wrong, so please include the syntax. So echo syntax is, I'm specifying base name $0 means the file name, domain name space IP address, and optionally the profile file name. So because I put it in square bracket, because by default or convention is that if you have anything optional you should put that into a square bracket. So the example is example.com 10.0.0.5 and exit with a 1 as exit code, because 0 is known as successful and 1 if you pass that exit code as 1, that means it is a failed, script has failed. Now profile, this is example which I have created. So this is parameter number 3 actually I'm calling. So this hash means comment. So let's ignore this line, and more important this one. So if the parameter number 3 is not blank, so this is conditional execution of the command. If you know that syntax is this, so this is conditional execution. If the first condition is successful, that means whatever command is executed before double ampersand sign, that is called conditional execution. So if this condition is true, that means third parameter is not blank, that means third parameter is passed, and then profile is equal to parameter number 3. So that is what I'm capturing, the content of the file profile, whatever I passed into the variable profile. Okay, so I'm generating a random serial number based on the date, today's date, because this is the syntax for capturing that. So if it is a date plus this is the format of the date YMD, that means YYYY, 4 digit for year, then month, then date, and followed by a 01. So this is going to be the serial number. Load the profile, the third parameter if it is fine. So source $profile, this is basically something like include file. If you have done C language, this is include the file. So that code is available now. Whatever was there in the profile file which I demonstrated a few minutes back, that is there in this file now, and I'm going to use that in this file. Okay, NS1 name server is parameter number 0, which we name server 0, that means the first option. NS1 is this. Starting authority. Now here I have to explain a few things from this line onward, friends. The start of authority, I'm going to directly append it to that file. So before sending data to the main file, okay, I want to capture these details, the zone details, into a temporary file, whatever the name of that file is. For example, we pass the parameter as aspl-delhi.com. I want to create a file with the name /temp/aspl-delhi.com.db. that is what is the meaning here. So I'm creating a file, this $1 means the parameter number 1, which is aspl-delhi.com as an example, and .db. So I'm just adding db to that. So the file would be /temp/aspl-delhi.com.db. this is going to be the file. Okay, and this redirection, single redirection, means if the file is there, it will be overwritten, else it will be created. Okay, now this $, here, slash means escape character, dollar means print the dollar as it is, otherwise dollar would have been parsed. So I don't want this dollar to be parsed, that's why I have used escape character. Dollar origin, then domain name, then time to live, $TTL. So again this TTL will be printed as it is, that means it will print $TTL followed by the value of the variable TTL. So whatever I specified in the earlier parameter profile file or here up, before that. Now append all the details to this file, slash temp slash aspldeli.com.db, based on the parameter passed by the user. And I'm continuing echo, using echo command to pass all these details to that file. So SOA, serial number, refresh, expiry, all these details I'm passing. So this will be passed to this file, and finally a blank line. Okay, so this is start of authority will be created up to here. Then second is name servers. So get length of the array, the name servers which I have created in the profile file. So total length dollar curly braces, that is for array, hash name servers at the rate, we are passing that, so we are getting the length of the array. So like in my example, in my profile file there were 2 records. Okay, now we are processing all these records. Use for loop to read all the name servers. So echo name servers. So this is just a as it is entry. This will be make as it is for the because I'm giving it in double quote, so it will be printed in the file. Okay, for the dollar domain. Dollar domain means the domain which we have passed. Dollar domain. Okay, in this file. So I'm appending the file. I'm adding content to that file, and now the for loop. So for I is equal to 0, I less than length, I plus plus. Echo, make all these entries to the file. Again slash temp slash $1.db, all these name servers. Okay, done. So name servers entered. After that MX entries, that is mail exchanger. Same way mail exchanger, if there are multiple, we are using array. Total length of these name servers, so we are passing through them. Again this is as it is entry, mac mx records, and then the array. So whatever, how many name servers are there, I mean mail servers are there, if there are more than one, all will be inserted. If one, then only one, no problem. So again same thing, at the rate ttl in mx record, and I'm calculating that like if there are 2, so 10, first will be 10 priority, second will be 20 priority, third will be 20, 50 priority. If it is 20, so 20, 40, and so on and so forth, and the mail server, and entering into the same file. Done. Then the a pointers. A pointers are default IP for the domain. So a records ttl, so passing all the a records here. Then name servers, IP address of the name servers. Okay, ttl name server IP addresses. Now name server I entered. If you recollect the profile file, there were name server IP addresses also corresponding. Each name server must have a corresponding IP address. So now we are fetching the IP addresses from that array. All the IP addresses are fetched here, and now we are parsing through all the name server with their corresponding IP addresses. So the loop is doing that purpose. So name server, and printing these name servers into the same file. And if there is nothing left, that means we are done with this. Now the CNAME records, canonical names, www, we are passing this one entry from our side, and then load records. If you remember, there was a last function, load a records, where FTP, webmail, and 3 records were there. So we are appending all those 3 records also into 1.db. Now, so now we are printing it as it is to the user. We have done the job. Now we just want to tell it, okay boss, this is the profile file, this is the zone file created. So I'm just printing, concatenating cat 1.db. Okay, so it is printing the file created, and then end of the zone file. So zone file created, and we want to take ahead from the user that please go through the file created, and we are verifying that do you want to go ahead with this, yes, no, and we are using case switch to verify whatever value is entered by the user. If user says yes, then we are copying to the where named. Okay, where named 1.db, as I demonstrated. The previous one was for.example.com.db. So whatever the domain name is entered by the user, the file will be aspldeli.com.db as an example. If it is allianceit.in, it will be allianceit.in.db. So whatever the domain name is, we are going to demonstrate this. Okay, and then we are moving this file, I mean copying the file, then making an entry into named.local.zones, which I demonstrated just now, and which I discussed in detail in the previous session. So making an entry into zone file, So therefore the three entries which are required, that is zone, type, master, file name, and that's it. The 3 4 file lines are there. I'm making entry into appending that etc named dot local dot zones, and we are adding this zone, the domain name, and followed by, why I'm using this slash double quote, because I want double quote to be printed, so I'm using escape character to print these double quotes and into this file. Same way, type is master, then file is this, and finally the closer, curly braces close, semicolon, to this file. And then after the entries are transferred, entries are done, I'm removing that file created in the temp folder, and that's it. If user says no, then don't do anything, exit. If user types something else, then just ignore that and drop to a dollar prompt. This is the script, my friends. Let's see the working of the script. So to see the working of the script, let's look at first thing first. The main thing is that let's look at this, what is there in the zone file. Okay, this is one, name.local.zone. Right now there are two zones. Okay, this is one. Second is what all files are there in that directory. Let's look at this also, slash where slash named. Okay, now you see we don't have any other file, 4.example.com.db, reverse.example.com.db. There are no other files for our domains. Let's create two domains. Okay, let's call the script. So the script is called like this, make zone. Okay, aspl-daily.com 192.168.1.21. This is the IP address which I want for the domain, aspl-daily.com, and this is the IP address. And then profile file, ns dot, this is the profile file. This is the syntax to call the script. Okay, make zone, aspl-daily.com, IP address ns.example.profile, and now it is demonstrating this, that whatever it has created is showing the zone file. Okay, so origin aspl-daily.com, time to live 4 hours, and all the entry. Look at the date is taken from that today's date, serial number, and name server for aspl-daily, the comment, proper comments, ns.example.com dot, and mail exchanger mail.example.com dot, a records 192.168.1.21. Same way 192 ns1 and ns2 121 and 22, and ftp 21, webmail 21, and the IP address all set, my friends. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead with this. Yes. So copying the file to aspl-daily.com.db, file created, make an entry to named.local.zones. Let's try to look at that. Okay, let's look at that file created or not. Yes, you can see that file is created in the first entry itself, named.com.db. Let's look at this file. Okay, so vi name where named, and here aspl-daily.com.db. so the file is created successfully, done. Okay, second was the named.conf file, the name.local.zone. Let's look at that also. The entry is made here. Yes, zone is aspl-daily.com, type is master, file is this. I have forgot to make an entry, allow update none. I can ignore that safely, otherwise I would have done this also, but this is for the more than sufficient. Okay, these two entries are done, and I should make one more entry, systemctl restart named dot service. So the service must be restarted. Okay, and now let's try to see that. Dig command, dig aspl-daily.com. Are we getting the entries? Yes, perfect, wonderful. Look at the IP address, 21, the name server ns2 and ns1, both the entries are there. This is how it works, my friend. This is how the name server is working. So it is responding. Try to ping aspl-daily.com. Will it ping? Yes, it is working fine. Inquiries are coming from the IP address. Okay, now let's create another one. Let's call the script once more. So make zone, this time I'm giving the IP address as 25, let's say 23, and the domain is let me create a domain. It's Alliance IT. In fact, the skillpedia.com. This is my domain and this is my website where you should register if you are a trainer or faculty, or if you want to learn something. And this is a place for marketplace for trainers and learners, the skillpedia.com. Okay, so we are making entry into this also, and look at this file created so quick. The name server, the IP address, all the details are done. Okay, are you okay with this file? Yes, done. So can we verify that? Yeah, we can verify that. Let's look at that where named. Do we have that file here? Look at the skillpedia.com.db in the last column. This is there, the file is there, file is created. Do we have that entry into the named.local.zone? Can we check that? Yes, the entry is there, zone skillpedia.com. Entries are perfect. So shall we try to restart the service and verify that it's working or not? Yeah, we can try that also. So dig the skillpedia.com. So wonderful, it's working, responding. Okay, and let's look at this now. Ping command working or not? The skillpedia.com. We are getting the entries and getting the reply, right? And second is, can we check the www, the alias name which we created, www.theskillpedia.com. It should also get the reply from that. Yes, done. So this is how, my friends, the DNS server configuration, multiple IP addresses, and the script to add zones quickly to the configuration file, and the zone file is created successfully. I have demonstrated that this part for you to you. Second, next session is going to be creating these websites. I want to add around 200 websites which we are hosting. We are a website design company. We are hosting more than 300 websites, and we have designed so far around 500 websites, 1500 websites to be precise. Okay, in the next session I'm going to configure all the websites on one server very quickly. Very quickly mean in 10 minutes I want to create all the websites. So how do I do I'm going to do that? In one session I demonstrated the Apache server configuration, HTTPD server configuration. So if you have watched that lecture, the next session is going to be the script created to create virtual host for these websites. Right now only the IP address is configured. Now the hosting is also to be configured. That means we are going to configure the Apache server with the help of the script to add to that file. So if you are interested in that, you should subscribe to the channel now. Hit a like button if you have liked the lecture, and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned. Watch out for the next lecture, wherein I will demonstrate how to create a script very quickly to add a virtual host for multiple websites to the same Apache server, so that you can have hundreds of websites very quickly configured on the Apache server. You don't require any cPanel or WHM panel for that. So we are going to do that with the help of the scripts only. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye, take care.